Well. Welcome back to New York Sports Wicker Media. I am Y2K99. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Obviously, I am not broadcasting from the wicker chair. No, I'm here from the office. So it's a swivel. We got Swivel 2K. The wicker chair does not have a swivel on it, as you might imagine. So the Jets have just released their 53-man roster. But they have made 27 cuts. And at this point, I want to go through this roster a little bit. Also talk about a couple of guys who I think might be good candidates for the 16-man practice squad. So at quarterback, they kept Wilson, Flacco, and White. I think Chris Streveler will be a very likely candidate to return to the practice squad if he is not claimed. Running back, Carter, Hall, Bam Knight made the roster. Kudos to Joe Douglas and the staff for keeping the NC State back on this roster. An undrafted free agent. I'm really glad that he's going to be staying. How the hell does Ty Johnson still have a roster spot? I will never know. It certainly isn't for his ability to run. It isn't for his ability to catch a football, and it's not for his ability to block. But for some reason, he still has a spot on this roster. Now, maybe it's because Nick Bawden has been put on injured reserve. Now, it's not supposed to be season-ending injured reserve, but whatever mystery injury he does have is going to keep him sidelined into at least October. So hopefully he will get back. I love his ability to block and create space in the run game, which this team is going to need. Okay, wide receiver, they kept 6. Davis, Moore, Garrett Wilson, Berrios, Jeff Smith, and number 11, Denzel Mims. Jermaine Johnson can't claim that number 11 just yet. Now can he? Nope. And I think Calvin Jackson and Irvin Charles are very good candidates for the practice squad. Maybe Tariq Black, but I hope Jackson and Charles do stay. Tight end, Uzama, Conklin, Ruckert, and Lawrence Cager made the roster. You know, that's going to make a lot of Jets fans happy. It's going to aggravate a few Jets fans. There are a couple of Jets fans I've seen who have suddenly come out as anti-Cager. But he has definitely seemed to have found his niche as a tight end. It's worked in the preseason. Let's see if he gets opportunities during the games, though. But I'm glad they're giving him a chance. Trevon Wesco cut. Kenny Yeboah also cut. I think Yeboah might have a shot at sticking on the practice squad. I think there's a little bit more of a chance that he gets claimed, though. We'll have to see. Offensive line, let's see, they keep Dwayne Brown, Laken Tomlinson, Dan Feeney, Connor McGovern, Elijah Vera Tucker, Nate Herbig, George Fant, and the rookie Max Mitchell. Chuma Edoga, Connor McDermott, those were some surprising cuts. Thought they might have a chance to stay on because at this point you really only have Mitchell as a backup tackle. So I think for the practice squad, you could say Russ Pierschbacher, Grant Hermans, who I think started more fights this offseason than just about any other Jet in some time. Chris Glazer, maybe. Haven't heard too much about him, but you could keep him if you wanted to. That's the offense. Let's go over to the defense. The Jets did not keep 9 defensive linemen. Oh, no. They did not keep 10 defensive linemen like I thought they might. They kept 11. Carl Lawson, JFM, Jermaine Johnson, Jacob Martin, Bryce Huff, Michael Clemens. They kept Vinnie Curry, probably more for his leadership than anything else. And then Quinnen Williams, Solomon Thomas, Sheldon Rankins, and somehow Nathan Shepard remains on the Jets roster. Ty Johnson and Nathan Shepard are going to pass like Randy Rasmussen for like the most seasons ever played by a Jet. It's probably going to happen. Some guys that they cut, there are a few defensive linemen here that you could talk about bringing back to the practice squad. Jonathan Marshall, I was starting to get high on him. They let him go. Tanzel Smart maybe, Bradley Anai. Jabari Zuniga, I could see them bringing him in if nobody else does claim him. I don't think anybody will. I think that there's a good chance you see 3 or 4 defensive linemen on the practice squad. Linebacker, they're only keeping 4, which I thought was going to happen. They just kept the 4. Mosley, Quincy Williams, Quan Alexander, and Jamian Sherwood. In terms of bringing some players onto the practice squad, Hamsah Nasruddin will definitely be back as long as nobody else claims him, and I think DQ Thomas is a very likely candidate for the squad as well. Let's go to cornerback. One of the bigger surprises for a cut was Javelin Guidry, their backup slot cornerback. I really thought he was going to make the team. So at this point, it is just Michael Carter II. Other cornerbacks, Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed, Brandon Eccles, Bryce Hall, and they kept Justin Hardy. They cut Isaiah Dunn and Rashad Wildgoose. I think Dunn is a very good candidate to come back to the practice squad. I don't know about him getting claimed. The Jets, remember, did give him a good amount of money, about as high of a offer as any undrafted free agent had received up to that time. So I think if they have the chance to bring him back, they will do so. But so they didn't go very heavy with cornerbacks. They only kept 6, which is interesting. Now, safety, I don't understand. They kept 4. LaMarcus Joyner, Jordan Whitehead, and they kept Ashton Davis and Tony Adams. Up until about 12 hours ago, I don't think most Jet fans knew who Tony Adams even was. But to cut Jason Pinnock and Will Parks is quite surprising. Parks is actually a 7th-year safety, so he was released. I don't expect him to come back at all. Pinnock, I think he's going to get claimed as well, to be honest. And then you can fit in those other 3 to 4 spots with outside players. So the backups at safety do have me quite concerned about as far as this goes. I like LaMarcus Joyner, like him, don't love him. I definitely like Jordan Whitehead, but here's the thing, and I'm going to keep saying this. Whitehead is a box safety. That's where he is best. You need a safety who can play center field, who can cover well. Joyner, it's questionable if Joyner can do that, plus he's coming off injuries. He hasn't really played that safety role in quite a few years. Ashton Davis, I don't know what he does well except hurdle. Okay, I mean, and you can't expect Tony Adams to just step in and start and be Ronnie Lott, to be Rod Woodson, during his days as safety, to be Charles Woodson. It's not going to happen. So the safety position definitely has me worried. I don't understand. That's probably the biggest thing. And I still wonder if they're actually going to keep 11 defensive linemen going into the season. I still think there are a couple of moves that will be made. So it's good. Yeah, it feels like they're high on defensive line and a little bit low on both cornerback and linebacker. So maybe one of these defensive linemen does get moved or get released. It should be interesting. Safety, I think there's got to be a move between Tart, the safety released from Philadelphia, who Robert Saleh knows well. You might be sweet on Tart, you might be sour on Tart, but I'd say he's worth a chance. Then you have Jefferson, the safety from Baltimore, who was released. Hey, other teams love to do that to the Jets. Just, find a guy who was released by the Jets, sign him for a week, and have him spill all the secrets. Maybe he'll give us some inside info on what the Ravens would like to do. So just a couple of thoughts there on this 53-man roster. Now, still a week and a half to go. There are a lot of changes that could still be made. All in all, I'm pretty happy with the roster as is. A few things still have me pretty confused. I just don't understand the motivation behind the 3 guys being here. Ty Johnson, Nathan Shepard, and Ashton Davis. So hopefully they are not too long for this world as New York Jets. Well, thanks for taking the time again to watch, and I'll see you back with more content from you know where, the old Wicker Chair.